right, how you doing, folks? Ryan Cullen here with you today over at the Louisiana Academy of Performing Arts. And I'm here for another video. This will be in our Lagniappe lesson series. But today we're actually answering some mail. Occasionally we get letters, and we got this quite some time ago, maybe a couple months ago, so I'm sorry. This is for Darin out there. Darin in Covington wrote us a nice letter here, and so I'm just going to read you his question, and here's what he wrote to us. Dear Sir or Ma'am, I already know about copywriting, but I don't know anything about song publishing. How do you publish a song, and how is that important to songwriting? Let me know something soon and at your convenience. Looking forward to hearing from you. Sincerely, Darin. So, Darin, again, my apologies for taking a while, but I thought this would be helpful, to kind of go through what I know about song publishing and all of that good stuff. I do it just a little bit, it's not my main focus at this time in my life, but I have done quite a bit of that. So let's start at the beginning. You mentioned that you already know about copywriting, but maybe not everyone does, so I thought I would throw that in as well. Okay, so when you create a new work, you do want to register that with the U.S. Copyright Office. Okay, and I have up here the website to do that. And basically all you need to do is find the appropriate category here, and you fill out the form and you pay the fee. I don't remember what the fee is, but it's not crazy. I want to say it was between $30 and $60 for a work. The key though is you want to send in a compilation of works. Okay, when I did some of mine, I sent them a bound book, and that way I only had to pay one fee. Okay, and then it does take a while when you do this, by the way, so don't expect it to be, well, it's run by the government. So yeah, you can expect a while, and they have a little processing time place on there, but I want to say it was 6 months to a year, so it's not quick. Once your work or works are processed, though, you can look them up on this little website here, and just search for your work. And I did that. My work I have is called the Tune Book Volume 1. So there you go. So then, as to why should we publish? Why do we want to publish things? Well, number one, you want to gain exposure as a new artist. Publishing is also a structured way to share creative access and use of your works so that other people can, play them and get them exposed. And then, of course, there's the financial compensation, which, depending on how much you're doing this, may or may not be a big incentive. It just depends, because that's a whole different topic right there. But you do want to consider that as well. So how do you publish? Okay, number one, you need to have a professionally produced product. Okay, with technology these days, there's really no reason not to. If we're talking about recording, there's Pro Tools, there's Logic for Apple users. Pro Tools is kind of the industry standard, but Logic's up there too. A lot of other options that I mean, so many other options, I can't name them all. But if you're looking for something free, check out Audacity. Okay, completely free. You can donate, try it out. It's really cool, and you can do quite a bit with it. So if if the budget's tight, this is definitely something to check out. There's also Reaper, which is also nice. I've used that, and it has a free trial as well. So those are all audio programs for multi-tracking. For notation, we have a few options too. Well, I should say many options. You have Sibelius, which is what I enjoy using, Finale, which I've used before, and if you're looking for something free, there's MuseScore, which I have also used before. And more programs like this are coming out all the time. Okay, so there's many more that you can check out. The point is, just pick one, whatever works for you, whatever is easiest and fits your budget. Okay. After that, when you have that professional product, it's time to distribute it. Okay. In the old days, you had to go to a publisher right away and just say, hey, can you please publish this? Hey, can you please get it out here? Well, today, again, we live in a technological world, right? So we have creating our website, we have Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, SoundCloud, and then e-commerce stores that you can create yourself as well. All of these things are pretty easy to do. There's various website builders like Squarespace that you can check out. So I'll just show you our LAAPA store here, which we've created on an e-commerce platform. And let's see, we'll go to one of these songs here. I happen to do a lot of jazz music. So take a look at this piece here. And you can see that it's able to be downloaded. And we can preview it, we can play it, open a score, all that good stuff. Okay, so it's very easy. The point is, it's very easy to get your product out there so that other people can check it out. So once you do get your site up and running, you do want to make sure that it's able to be indexed by Google. And if you have a Google account, if you don't, you should make one. Go ahead and find the place called Google Webmaster Tools. In there, there's a place to upload a sitemap. Sitemap will map out your whole website and just helps it a little bit to be better indexed by Google. Google does a lot of that automatically nowadays, but I always like to do that anyway, just in case, to help it along. And so, as I mentioned, for sheet music, you do want to have a demo available. So if I click this preview button, I have a watermarked copy of the score people can look at and, see what's going on in there. And I also, of course, have the audio part there, which I'll turn on just a little bit here. So that's available, and people want to be able to see the score, right? And they want to be able to see what it sounds like. Otherwise, they're not going to buy it, right? Just on the score or just on the recording. It's good to have both options there. And so that brings me to another point. If your main project focus is creating an audio recording, you should also create the sheet music for it, because people want to learn how to play it, especially popular music. So you want to have that available. Usually you want to create a beginner version of that, something that's easy to play on piano, singing, guitar. Those are the popular ones. So consider that as well. If you have, if you're selling sheet music mainly, you do want to have a good video demonstration or audio demonstration, and that'll just help it sell even more. Talking about audio projects, it is very important these days to be listed on iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, all of these kinds of online platforms. And how do you get on there? Well, I used a service called CD Baby when I did my last project, and they do all of that. They can get you listed everywhere, and I'll just show you an example. If I search for the band name here, which was Albee Cullen Group, it is listed in all these places. So, there's a lot of hits there just from doing that. Okay. And you'll also notice on Amazon we have some reviews, right? That's also important, getting some reviews um, to encourage other people to purchase the music or the product. And again, as I mentioned, if you have sheet music, it's really important to have that audio recording or a video recording. And over time, you can search YouTube after you've sold, a few works. You can search YouTube, and people will inevitably upload their performances of your works. In this piece that I was mentioning over here, Until Then, Farewell, I happened to come across a pretty nice big band recording of that from a big band in Costa Rica, which is pretty cool. They're called the New Jazz Project. So, yeah, so now I have a professionally done recording of my piece, and I can use that on my website, which I really need to add, come to think of it. Now, something else that you'll want to do is register with a performance royalty organization, also known as a PRO. Okay, what their job is, basically they pay royalties based on your public performances. So whether you're the performer or not, it doesn't matter. But anytime your work is performed publicly and it's surveyed, that's kind of the key there. Whether it's a venue or on the radio, you're entitled to a royalty. Okay. The system is not perfect. Okay. So if you're playing at a very small venue, chances are nobody's going to know about it. ASCAP won't know about it because they rely on surveys. So radio stations have playlists that they can submit. And then larger venues are also responsible, like universities, especially big venues, concert halls. They're responsible for turning things in that say, we played this piece today, and here's the writer and composer. Then you'll get paid for stuff like that. So, who are the performance royalty organizations? Well, we have a few. We have ASCAP, which stands for the American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers. We have BMI, which is Broadcast Music Incorporated. We have CSAC, which is the Society of European Songwriters, Artists, and Composers. And we have SOCAN, which is the Society of Composers, Authors, and Music Publishers of Canada. So, in general, they all kind of do the same thing. You can visit their websites and see which one you like better, if any. And so once you've signed up with a PRO, you want to upload your works so that they are in the database there. And people can search for your compositions, and if they want to record them, they can contact you and work out a deal. Okay, so if we go to ASCAP's ACE database here, I search for myself, and here I am. Isn't that wonderful? And we can find that particular song down there that we had earlier, which is in there. There it is. Yeah, so if I open that up, it shows that's me as the writer, and I get 50% of the royalties. Great. Where does the other 50% go? Well, it goes to my publishing company, because in addition to being a writer member of ASCAP, I'm also a publisher on ASCAP. And that way we get 100% of all the royalties. So my publishing company gets 50, I get 50. My publishing company also manages the mechanical rights. So if someone does indeed want to record a CD of all my works for whatever reason, I don't know. That hasn't happened yet, but you never know. Got to stay positive. They would contact my publishing company, and then we would negotiate a deal there. Once you get really big, you have Harry Fox, which can do some of that for you and automate the process. But if you're small like me, you can do all of this stuff yourself. Now, after all of that, and you've had some success with doing everything yourself, then it's time to maybe branch out. Okay, you want to search out. First, I would search out some smaller publishers that are niche publishers, meaning that they specialize in the kind of music that you create. Okay, what I did personally was I looked for some big band jazz publishers, and I had some success getting in with some of them. So this is a pretty out of date website, but a lot of really excellent writers and composers here. So I'm really happy to be a part of this. Um, my name should be in there somewhere. Oh, there I am. Yeah, there we go. And that's me. Yeah, I've got some works here, and yeah, so I'm listed there. And then they distribute to some online e-commerce stores like eJazzlines, which is great. And yeah, so that's a good place. That's worked out well for me. And then I'm also at a PDF jazz music site, which is pdfjazzmusic.com, and that's been really great too. I've appreciated working with them. So things like that, as long as it's non-exclusive, when you're with smaller publishers, don't sign anything that's exclusive, because they just don't have the volume for it. You need to be able to sell your own stuff independently as well, and have them list you additionally so that you have multiple places where your music is being sold. The only time you want to sign something that's exclusive is with a really large publisher, and that time may come. Um, the good thing about non-exclusive smaller publishers is that they'll generally give you a better deal. Okay, you'll get maybe 50% of the royalties for sales. Whereas when you go with a larger publisher, you're not going to get nearly as much. So that's something to consider too. Okay, so I hope that this has been informative, Darin, and whoever else may be watching. So good luck with publishing your music, and we'll see you next time. Take care.